actually watch the whole video?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Uh,
do you have any? Okay. Okay. So let's start with the second slide. Okay. So basically, this is about international environmental problems. So when we talk about international problem, basically when the pollution cross the boundary. Okay, so currently we are here in Malaysia. So if let's say the pollution produced in Malaysia cross its boundary, means that it go beyond Malaysia, perhaps Indonesia or Singapore. So we call it international problems or environmental problem. Okay, so now if you look at this question, such a very quick question before we start the discussion. So, do we have to be concerned about the international problems, especially when we talk about the environmental problems? Why or why not? What do you think? Should we be concerned if let's say you are actually living in Malaysia, so there is a pollution, a serious pollution in United States, which is far away from Malaysia, or there is a serious problem in, well, perhaps Japan. So do you have to be concerned about that pollution which is not occurring in your country? What do you think about it, Musa?
yes, madam.
Do you have to be concerned about that pollution?
Yes, because it's pollution, and pollution can lead to uh, to a lot of negative things.
Okay, but it is not happening in your country. If let's say there is a fire, forest fire, very far away in perhaps the Amazon forest. So you
Mm.
may not feel the fire, you may not smell the fire. So why do you have to be concerned about it?
Because, madam, pollution, pollution is that it affects like the ecosystem.
Okay, okay. Okay, accepted. Okay, so basically, even though it is happening far away from where you are living, but
Yes,
because the
you have to
pollution.
be aware
Mm-hmm.
about it, concerned about it.
Yeah, yeah. For example, in the case of Sumatran rainforest, they have cleared more than half of the rainforest. So basically, definitely not just Malaysia, which is close to the Indonesia, but all over the world will actually suffer from these problems of rainforest,
Yes,
right? Because, well, definitely we will lose lots of wild animal, right? We will
yeah,
definitely lose a source of oxygen. Definitely, forest is actually a source of oxygen. So when we lost this forest, definitely our oxygen actually reduce
yes,
because actually we are living in one world. So we call it Earth, right? So
yes, madam.
whatever happen inside the Earth, everyone will be affected, right? So that's why even though it is occurring far away from you, you have to be concerned about it, and we have to try. The whole nation should work as one because we are living in one planet to definitely reduce the pollution, right?
Yes.
Okay, so page number 6. Okay, so this is about a game. So have you heard about Prisoner's Dilemma?
Prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah, have you heard about this game?
Uh, no, no. It is a game or
It's a game.
game,
Yeah,
as we know, game.
it's a game. Yeah, like you are
Oh,
playing a game. Have so you haven't heard about it?
no.
Okay, okay.
I watch.
So basically, it is a very well-known game. If and especially when you are talking about um behavior, when you have like player. So if let's say you are the only, okay, if let's say you are the only player, so you don't have to concern about others. But in this case, you have more than one player. So you definitely will be concerning about the behavior of someone else, the behavior of another player. So normally for prisoner's dilemma, it is very common when you want to learn, when you want to somehow design your strategy, especially if let's say you are a firm, right? If you are a firm and you have a you call it oligopoly system where there are a few firms in the market. If let's say you are talking about monopoly, you have like one firm, right? Oligopoly, you have like a few firms, perhaps two firms, three, or four big firms. So the actions of another firm will definitely affect your profit. Okay, so perhaps I should draw something here so that you can okay. So let me set up my marker first. So the actions of one firms will definitely affect another firm. Okay, so can you give me the example? The actions of one firm affect the profits of another firm. Is it possible to be that way? Is it possible? Musa? Do you think that it is possible that the actions of one firm will affect another firm? So let me write it here. We are talking about, so here, monopoly is just one firm. But we are talking about oligopoly, which is more than one firm. Okay, so you can have two, three, and so on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, so this is one firm, and let's assume that we have two firms. This is two firm. So how can the actions of this one firm will affect the profit of this firm? Can you think of any example? For instance, if let's say this is firm A, this is firm B. So for instance, firm B reduce the price. Okay, these two firms are actually selling, for instance, smartphone. Okay,
Yeah.
so A and B are selling smartphone, but firm B reduce the price of Smartphone. So, for instance, the price of smartphone is RM 1,000, and B reduce it become 900. So, what do you think happened to profit A when B reduced the price? Definitely, people will buy the phones sold
Yeah.
by B, right?
Uh,
Isn't it?
A will lose all the clients.
Yeah, even though you reduce just slightly lower price, but because definitely the actions of another firm will affect your profits. So
Yeah.
in this case, when you have this kind of situation where your situation is actually dependent on the behavior of someone else, so you should use this game. We call it prisoner's dilemma. Okay, so um, there is a history for prisoner's dilemma. Basically, you can just search it in the internet.
Yes,
What is
yes, madam.
yeah?
Um,
What is the reason? Why do we use prisoner's dilemma? Okay, but in short, basically, the actions of other people will definitely affect your condition. If in this case we are talking about environmental good, right? And we are specifically focused on the pollution. So let me draw another. Okay. So in this case, we are talking about two countries. Okay. Country A and country B. Okay. If let's say this is your country, you are doing fine. But then country B is actually doing pollution. And you are actually locating nearby, close to each other. So do you think that pollution made by country B will affect you? Definitely, pollution caused by country B will affect your own people, right? And
yes.
the same way, if let's say you have like a normal condition, but country B Abate. Abate means try to reduce the pollution or try to somehow um, clean the environment. Definitely, this action, positive action, will have a positive impact to your country. So in this case, we can apply the prisoner's dilemma situation. Means that someone else behavior will definitely affect your condition. Okay. So let's see our example here. Okay. So tell me, so this is just a discussion, right? So I'm assuming that you have understood my lecture, my video. So tell me why basically pollute and pollute is the dominant strategy for this game under prisoner's dilemma. Why? Musa,
Yes.
tell me. My question is why uh, pollute pollute is actually dominant strategy under prisoner's dilemma. Why is that? Hmm? So I don't know whether you have understood it. So tell me why.
Pollute. Madam, that mean pollution, right?
Yes, means that they do pollution.
Okay. So why? So so you are saying why the pollution is the best solution for the prisoner for this game here, right?
Yeah, yeah. Means not the best solution, but the dominant strategy. Means that everyone will choose pollute, regardless of whatever the other party is doing. What do you think about it? Why pollute is the dominant strategy? Dominant strategy means this is the best response for these two countries to do, to behave. So why do you think?
Uh, it is it is really because they all are thinking about it
I
as
cannot
a
hear your
best
voice. I
solution.
cannot hear your voice. Can you please repeat? I cannot hear your voice. Musa, I cannot hear your voice.
Madam,
Yeah, now it's clear.
I said maybe all of them are thinking about it as the best solution. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, why is it is the best solution? Why don't they go for a bit? If you go for a bit, basically you will get higher profit, which is three, and in total, 3 plus 3 you should get 6. Why do you go for pollute? Pollute will give you the outcome of 0 plus 2, and you will just get 2. So 6 and 2, 6 is actually definitely bigger. So why don't you go for a bit to get a better benefit or higher benefit?
So, uh,
Mm,
maybe maybe it depend on
maybe what? Okay, so let me tell you, when you are playing a game, so definitely, it seems
Maybe
like you
it's
are,
depend on
huh?
no,
Yes.
it's okay, madam. Finish.
Okay. So
Uh,
when you want to play a card, okay, so definitely you have to think what will be the cards of the other player,
what
right?
what the other is thinking. Okay.
Yes, you have to think that way. If you are a firm, if you want to do something, reduce your price for smartphone or increase your price, you have to think. If let's say the other firm is reducing their price, what happened to you? So you have to reduce your price. But if let's
Yeah.
say you reduce too much, then perhaps you will lose as well because you are reducing unnecessarily. So you have to be smart not to make a full decision. So in this
Yeah.
case, let's assume that you are country X. Okay, let's assume that you are country X.
Okay,
So
that's why they all stick to pollution here,
why?
right, madam?
No, no, you are not answering the question yet. Okay, so you are country X. Okay,
Yeah.
so the other country is country Y. Okay, so when you want to do something as a country X, you have to think what Y will do. Okay, so Y will have the option whether to pollute or to abate. So Y has two options. First is pollute or abate. Can you see that? So I'm
Yeah.
writing something on my board. Okay, so let me make it bigger. Okay, so now let's assume that what if, so let me write it here. What if Y choose to pollute? Okay, so let's assume that this is the first scenario. What if Y wants to pollute? What happened to you? Okay, so if let's say Y wants to pollute, what is the option for you? So the option for you is, so this is, so how do you want to read this number? So the first zero, the first number here, zero is belong to X, two is belongs to Y. The first letter or the first number belongs to X, while the second number belongs to Y. Okay, so if let's say Y wants to pollute, so you have to refer to this column, pollute, the columns of pollute, right? So what
Yeah.
is the option? So your option, because number 2 and number 5, let me write it here, 2 and 5 are the option for Y. So you have your option for X is 0 and negative 2. So you have to choose. Okay, if you look at my first scenario, what if Y wants to pollute? So your choice is between 0. What is 0? 0 is pollute, right?
Mhm.
And another option for you is what?
I paid.
Negative 2, which is abate. So you have to compare. You want to choose 0 or negative 2? Which,
Uh,
which one?
Zero.
0? Yeah, because 0 is bigger than negative 2, right?
Yes.
So for you, you will pollute if, let's say, Y pollute. Okay? If
Yeah.
Y pollute, you will pollute because you will compare the outcome, the pair of for pollute and abate. Definitely pollute, 0 is better than or greater than negative 2.
Yeah.
So if Y pollute, you will pollute, definitely. Now, let's see what happened if,
Madam.
hmm,
Uh, Sorry to. Uh, I say. But you cannot choose what is the best for you every time, right?
you have the option here, two options, abate or pollute. So all you have to choose the bigger, the better payoff. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the first scenario. You have two scenario, right? So
Mhm.
if Y pollute, you will choose pollute. You know,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Second scenario, what happened if, what if Y choose to abate? So abate is here. Okay. So
Mhm.
negative 2 is the pair for Y. 3 is the pair for Y. So what is your pair? So you will choose 5. 5 is what? 5 is pollute.
Pollution.
Another one is 3. 3
Okay.
is abate. So between 5 and 3, which one do you choose?
5.
Yes, because 5 will give you a greater payoff. So
So pollute
in this
again.
case, if let's say Y wants to abate, you will always pollute regardless of whatever, because pollute will always give you a better payoff.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes.
That's how you want to answer the question. That's why in this case, pollute is the best option or the dominant strategy we call it, because regardless of what Y is planning to do, pollute will always be the best for you, because you have to compare the payoff for pollute and payoff for abate. Well, pollute will give you always the bigger or greater payoff. Okay, now got it?
Yes.
Okay, another question to make sure that you have understood this. Okay, um, okay. So if let's say in this case, um, we let's assume that okay, these two countries agreed that they know that the payoff for abate is 3 3, right? Can you see here? So if both abate, x abate, y also abate, so they got 3 3. So in this case, we know that 3 3 will give you a greater result, which is 6. I don't know whether Halima can join us. No, no request from her. In this case, you know that 3 3 will give you 6 in total, the payoff. So if let's say both of the country choose to abate, why abate is not a sustainable or stable payoff. Did you get my question?
No, no. Can you repeat again, madam?
Okay, maybe I have to perhaps write the question so that you can see it clearly, right? Because students love everything to be in written form, right?
Yes,
That's
madam.
better. It's fine. So my question is, where is my marker here? Why abate abate is not a stable solution? Uh, why? Even though it will give you the highest payoff. So when you want to explain it, definitely you have to explain in a game standard, in a game format. Hmm.
Mhm.
Tell me why.
Uh, why abate is what, madam?
It's not a stable solution.
Why abate is not a stable solution?
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
pollute. I think pollute have always the higher number.
Pollute will not give you a higher payoff. Remember the first discussion that I mentioned just now here. Where is my marker here? Okay, here. Here. Can you see this box? I'm drawing this box.
Yes,
So
yes.
3 plus 3 is actually abate and will give you 6 in total of the payoff. 0 plus 2 is pollute. 6 is actually bigger than 2. Why?
Yeah.
Why a 6 is not a stable solution? Why don't they choose 6? If let's say 6 is greater. Hmm. Okay. So let me tell you, because this is your first time seeing this game. So let me just explain the answer. Okay, let's assume that you are X. You are country X, right? So
Yes.
country X. Okay. Country X, what is the payoff for country X? Under abate, if you look at here, under abate, this is the one. So your payoff is -2 and 3, right?
Green. Yeah.
Okay. So let me write it here. So for abate, under country X. So this is pollute for Y. This is abate for Y. Okay, if let's say x abate, so x will get -2 and 3. I just rewrite the right side box. So if let's say country X want to abate, right? So uh, can you see the difference here?
Yes, -2.
Um, okay, I didn't show it clearly. Okay, so this is abate. This is pollute. This is abate. Okay. Maybe another. Okay, so where is it? Let me delete this to make it clear. Okay. Okay. Perhaps I have to draw a different diagram. Okay, let me show it here. Okay. Oh, doesn't look good. Oh, okay. So where is it? So this is pollute. Forex. This is abate. Okay. So we have here. Well, I don't really have to show both. Mm, hmm So what else? This is pollute. Um. Okay. So this is. Let's just write it here. Pollute, and this is abate. Okay. So what else? Um. Okay. So now we are talking about abate and abate, right? So country X and country Y will abate and abate. Okay. So if you look at here, we have 5, -2. Here we have 3 and 3. Okay. So if let's say you are country X, if you abate, your payoff is 3, right? But if you don't want to abate as a country X, you choose to pollute. What is your payoff?
Uh,
Huh?
the payoff.
Yeah. Now you are choosing abate and abate, right? So
Yes.
as a country X, if let's say you abate and country Y is also abate, your payoff is definitely total in 6. But in this case, if let's say you abate, your payoff is 3. If let's say you want to pollute, what is your payoff? Country Y is abating, but you pollute. If you pollute, your payoff is 5.
Fine.
If let's say country Y abate, you abate, you will get 3 and 3. But if let's say country Y abate and you pollute, can you see? You will get a higher payoff.
Okay.
Instead of getting 3, you will get
Fine.
5. So which one do you prefer? You want to abate or you want to pollute?
I want to pollute, madam.
Yes, because 5 is greater. So this is from the perspective of X. So let's see from the perspective of Y. Okay, so let's go back to the original diagram. So where is Y? This is Y, right? This is country Y. Okay, so in this case, let's see. From the point of view of Y, if let's say X abate and abate. Okay, so basically you have to look at from the point of Y, it is like you are comparing. Okay, maybe that's a bit crowded. Let me draw a new one. So this is from the perspective of Y. This is Y, and this is pollute. This is abate. Okay, this is pollute for X. This is X. This is abate. So in this case, let's assume that X will definitely abate forever. Now, this is your option. You are Y now. Currently, you are Y. Okay. So if you are Y, so and let's look at from the X. X will definitely abate. So in this case, you have -2, 5, and then you have 3 and 3. Okay. Now, so let's assume that X will abate forever. You have the option for Y. If let's say you abate, so Y is the second part. The first part belongs to X. The second part belongs to Y. This is X. This is Y. So if you abate, you will get pair of 3. If you pollute, you will get the pair of 5.
Fine.
So this is abate from Y perspective. This is pollute from Y perspective. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer 3 or do you prefer 5?
Fine. Fine, madam.
Yeah. So basically, both X and Y will have the tendency to pollute because when they cheat, because they well, although they have the agreement, they said if let's say we both abate, we will get the payoff of 6, which is good. But
Yeah.
actually, from their own perspective, if the other party abate and I pollute, I will get 5. Why should I get 3 instead of 5? So every country will have the tendency to get a higher payoff by cheating. Okay? So if let's say both are cheating, because X will have the tendency to cheat, to pollute, Y will have the tendency to pollute, then they will get the what? The dominant strategy, which is pollute, pollute. And they will end up at 0 and 2, which is 2 in total. Can you see that? Why? Okay. Is it clear to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So your task, your assignment is that find the history of a prisoner's dilemma. It is about the prison when there are hello, can you hear me? So your task is
Yeah.
finding the history of prisoner's dilemma. There are actually
Okay.
two.
Find what, madam? Let me.
No, it's not like
Right.
a real assignment. This is just for your information. So
Yes.
you have to know the history of prisoner's dilemma for you to understand this game better. Basically, there are two prisoner. Okay, there are two criminal. They were caught, and then basically each of them are separated, and they were investigated, a question separately. Okay, so they both of them were given two options like this, whether you want to pollute or abate. So with regard to the criminal, they were given two options, whether you want to confess or you don't want to confess, something like that. Okay,
Okay.
so do I have a space? Where is it? Oh, I don't have. Oh, I use so many. I write so many things. So in the case of prisoner's dilemma, okay, this is the real case. Okay, that's why they have a game. So there are two criminals. You can look at the detail later on in the YouTube in the Google. So both of them were caught and they are asked to confess. Okay, so each of them have two options, whether confess or not confess. Okay, right. So if let's say both of them confess, they will get a longer a longer period in prison. Okay, but if let's say one confess, another one do not confess, so okay, let me write it here. If one confess, another one not confess, so the one confess will go to jail and the one will who are not confessing will not go to jail, will be free. So in this case, both of the criminal will definitely, when you know that they will be free if let's say they do not confess, what will they do? Should they confess or should they not confess? If they confess, they will go to jail. If they do not confess, they will be free. So both of them have the tendency to not confess. But if let's say both are not confess, so they will also go to jail with a longer periods in the jail. Okay, so this is the same thing with what we have learned today, but we are talking about environment. We are applying it in the case of environment. Okay, so this is the history of prisoner's dilemma because the prisoner have a dilemma whether should I confess or not confess. If let's say I confess, then I will be in trouble. But if let's say I don't confess, I have the chance to get free. only if the other person confess. If let's say boss do not confess, so they will have a longer period in the jail. So this is like kind of dilemma, whether they what kind of the best option that they have to do, the best strategy, in relations to what the other party will do, what the other criminal will do. Okay, so well, you can just search about the history of prisoner's dilemma. Okay, okay. So now, um, I hope that in this case, in the situations of environmental problems, you are clear about it. Okay. So the next one is page number 6. Okay. This is number 6. Cool. Done. Page number 8. 8. Okay. Can you please explain to me if you have understood what I have explained before? This is the case of single beta game. So there are many types of games. Okay, you can also search it. Oh, what kind of game? Because game is very interesting because you can somehow apply it in the real world. Okay, definitely our condition will depends on the reactions or the behavior of others. If let's say you are very good students, well, you are very good friends, definitely your friends will like you. If let's say your friends behave or misbehave towards you, definitely you will have some reaction, right? So we can apply these games in the real world if you have understood it clearly. Okay, in the case of single beta game, okay, tell me in this case why the Nash equilibrium is 5 negative 2. Previously, or we can say pollute and abate. Previously, in the case of prisoner's dilemma, pollute is actually the Nash equilibrium as well as the dominant strategy. In this case, why pollute and abate is actually the Nash equilibrium or the base strategy. So, can you explain in a game setting? I believe boys love playing games. So tell me, explain to me how pollute and abate become the Nash equilibrium. Musa, can you please explain to me?
Yes, yes, yes. Wait.
Uh-huh.
So here, firstly, we can see the two are not doing the same. While the
Okay.
other are polluting and the other one are abating,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So here, so here all the two will have to face the consequences, madam.
Mm, I cannot uh, see any explanation regarding the game. So you have to explain how to play the game and why pollute abate is the base. Remember, when you play the games, whatever you do, you will think about the other player.
Yes,
What if the other player do this, and how will you react? Huh? That's
yes.
how you want to explain the game. Mm. Let's assume you are countrywide. Mm.
Yes.
Okay, explain. Okay. I think you are having trouble to explain. Okay, let's assume that you are a country Y. Okay, so when you want to do something, you have to consider what X will do. Whenever you want to play a game, you have to think, what if X will play this? What if X will play this? You have to think that way. So in this case, you will see, okay, basically X will always pollute regardless of whatever. Why? So basically, the dominant strategy for X is to pollute. Okay, if you look at from the X point of view, even though you are Y, so X will always pollute. Why? You have to look at here. If let's say, so the first letter is belongs to X, right? This is X, this is Y. This is X, this is Y. Okay, so when X pollute, okay, X will get -1. When X abate, what do X get? Musa? Musa, when X pollute, X will get -1. When
Yes.
X abate, what did X get?
Uh, 3.
No. 3 is when all abate. So in this case, just consider from the X point of view. So this is X. X has whether pollute or abate. So if X pollute, X will get -1. If X abate, X will get -2. Okay? So the first part here is belongs to X. Okay, so if X abates, X will get -2.
Oh, 2.
So in this case, you are comparing -1 and -2. Which one is better?
-1.
-1. So the dominant strategy for X is always to pollute because pollute will give a lesser harm. A lesser means that a bigger number, right? So X will always pollute. Okay? So pollute will give X a better solution. Right. Okay. So in this case, okay, so you know that regardless of whatever, X will always wants to pollute. If let's say X choose to abate, okay, uh, let me write it here. You have to look at two conditions. If let's say X wants to abate, okay, so if X abate, what happen? If X abate, X will get 3 only if Y abate.
A bit.
But X doesn't know whether Y wants to abate or not abate. If let's say X abate and Y pollute, what happened to X?
If
Hmm?
you say if.
If let's say, okay, I said, if let's say X abate,
Mhm.
Y abate, X will get 3, right?
Yes.
Which is higher, a good payoff. But if let's say X abate, but then Y pollute, so X will get -2. Definitely, X doesn't want this. So to be safe, it's better for X to pollute, right?
Yeah.
Because X will compare -2 and -1. -1 will give X a better payoff, even though negative, but still -1 is better, right? So in this case, you can see that X dominant strategy is always to pollute. Okay, now you are Y. So by knowing that X will always pollute, what should you do? As a Y, what should you do?
You will pollute also.
Uh-huh. So you have to compare here. Okay. Okay. So this is you, right? This is Y.
Yeah.
So X will pollute. So you shouldn't look at this option, abate, because X will not abate. You just have to look at this option, pollute. Okay, because X will always pollute. So now for Y, you have two options, whether to pollute or whether to abate. So you have to look at this part, this part. You don't have to look at the second part anymore because X will not abate. X dominant strategy is only to pollute. Okay, now you have to see. If let's say you pollute, what happened to you? You will get -4. You are y. Okay, so can you see here? The first number belongs to x, second belongs to you. So if you pollute, you will get -4. If you abate, what happened to you? You will get.
-2.
So which one do you prefer? Do you want to pollute or do you want to abate?
Here, here it's -2. So here it's about a bit.
Yeah. Yes, if you are Y, you know that X will pollute. So you have option pollute or abate. If you pollute, you will get -4, which is a greater loss. But if you abate, you will get -2, even though it is a loss, but a smaller loss. So,
Oh, so here, okay.
okay, so that is the Nash equilibrium. Can you see that?
Yes, yes.
So you have to see the conditions of each player. If you are Y, so you have to see what X will do. If you are X, you have to see what Y will do. So how to react after that. That's how you want to play a game. It's like a gambling. It's like a gamble. So you have to think, what is the best strategy to win the gambling, right? That's how you want to explain it. So that's why I purposely extend this class because previously both of you were not ready, both of you haven't watched the video. So I'm afraid that if let's say I explain it, both of you may be clueless or may not be clear. That's why I wanted you to watch it first, then we will look at the game carefully, because if you don't see the game how it is played, you may not understand it. Okay, so did you know? Now, can you understand it? How the single a better game is played? Okay.
Explain it.
No, no, no. Now, do you understand how the single a better games is played? Why did you get five -2?
Mm, yeah, 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 yeah. It's about what the other are thinking here, right?
Mm-hmm. So, the next page is 21. 21 here is okay. No, not 21. 20. Okay, so this is the question: how to ensure the members' commitment after signing the International Environmental Agreement? Now, you want to make sure all the countries, or well, the player, sign here. Agreements means that all the player agree to abate and abate to get this three payoff. So, how to make sure that everyone will do their job? Hmm?
Uh, you have to show them, madam, that's the best solution.
Well, you have to remember when they choose abate and abate, there is a cost for abating. It's not easy. Means that you want to ask the country to reduce the pollution. They have to incur some cost. So how to make sure that they will be doing that?
How to make sure.
Yes, because sometimes when they sign an agreement, environmental agreement, they will be saying, okay, I will sign this agreement and I will be committed to reduce my pollution. But after signing the agreement, they may not do it, right? So how to make sure that they will be committed to reduce the pollution? You didn't watch my video carefully because I have explained the answer.
Mm.
Okay. Uh-huh. So basically the answer is this one. All the answers are given here. You can give the performance bond. Okay. So basically performance bonds is like deposit. Means that when they want to sign the agreement, you are saying that okay, you have to pay a deposit like 1 million. If let's say you didn't do your job, this 1 million will be mine. So definitely the country will have to do their job by reducing the pollution. So the first strategy or the first option is that using the performance bond. Okay, so definitely, if they want to break their agreements, they didn't want to do their job, they will be scared of losing their deposit. It's like if you want to purchase a house, you have to pay a deposit, right? So if you cannot pay the housing loan, well, the deposit will be the owner's money. Okay, so definitely you don't want to lose your deposit. Okay, another way of make sure that everyone is doing their job is about like giving carrots or stick. So carrots means that you give something, you give them money. If let's say you sign this agreement and agree to reduce your pollution, we will give you some money. If you give that kind of payment, or we call this carrot, you give a reward. So people may wants to do something good because they know that they will get a reward. Or perhaps if they don't want to do it, you can give them a punishment. Stake is like a punishment. uh, this is this was implemented during the Montreal Protocol. Okay, so those countries who didn't want to join the protocol, didn't want to sign the agreement, they gave punishment to these countries. Like what? They give like trade restriction, means that this country will not be trading with them. So the country that joined the protocol were United States, Canada, and many other countries. So there are like a big player. So it's such a lose if let's say you didn't want to sign the agreements because you cannot trade with this country. Okay. So yeah, this kind of strategy that you can apply if let's say you want to make sure that the player are doing their job, which is uh, abate and abate. Okay. And the last question that I want to ask is slide number 24. Why was the international agreement easier in reducing CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, than in reducing greenhouse gases? So chlorofluorocarbon was actually for Montreal Protocol. Greenhouse gases was for um what is that? I forgot the name. Kyoto Protocol. So there are actually two agreements here. CFC is for Montreal and GHG is for Kyoto. Why Kyoto Protocol was not successful, but Montreal Protocol was a success? Tell me, what was the reason? Musa,
Yeah, madam.
tell me.
Uh, because here, the first one is about pollution.
Both are pollution.
Yeah.
Both are pollution, sweetie. Why is that?
No, like the second one, I think it's about deforestation, or is not that?
No, greenhouse gases is not just deforestation. It's about uh well, greenhouse gases in fact is actually a greater or serious problem which can lead to climate change. While for CFC, it will lead to the thickening, not really thickening. It will uh, reduce our ozone layer. It will somehow thinning the ozone layer or breaking up our ozone layer. So basically, climate change is worse than ozone layer. But why? We fail to achieve the agreements uh, to reduce the greenhouse gases that can lead to climate change.
It's okay. It's as you said. Here on the second images, it's more complicated problem than the first one.
Really? Okay, basically the answers are given in the next slide, slide number 26 and 27. Okay, so if you have watched it, basically I have explained clearly. All the answers are given here. Well, CFC it is easier to achieve the targets. And basically under CFC we have Montreal Protocol. Okay, so I have explained this in detail. While for GHG, this is for greenhouse gases. Uh, it is under Kyoto Protocol, and why does it fail to achieve its target? So everything is given there. So your task is just listening to it. You should understand it because I have explained in detail in these two slides. Okay, but now it shows that you didn't really listen to my slide. Listen
No,
to my
I didn't finish watching the video. That's why, madam.
okay, so uh, to make sure that you have basically this is just a simple reading. So you just have to read the notes or you just listen to it. Okay, so I think I don't really have to explain it because I have explained in detail. So
Okay.
my concern was on the game when we talk about how you achieve the so how do you want to achieve? Oh, we do still have. Okay, so in this case, I have explained about prisoner's dilemma and how did we get pollute and pollute as the dominant strategy. I also have explained about single abater game and how did we achieve abate and pollute as the Nash equilibrium or the best strategy. We also have another games we call it assurance game. So under assurance game, basically you will get two outcome, two pair off. Okay, so I believe that if you have understood the previous two games, you should actually able to understand this game as well. Okay, whatever one player wants to do or wants to uh, choose the strategy, it will think about the strategy of the other player. Okay, so in this case, you will have two Nash equilibria, which is uh, not contribute, not contributes, or we can say pollute, pollutes, or contribute, contribute, or abate, abate. Okay, why does it contribute and not abate? Because we are talking about contributing to public goods. Okay, contributing to perhaps conservations of biodiversity. So that's why we have contribute or not contribute. Okay, so well, you will have your time and play the games and make sure that you can figure it out how can you get two best strategy in this game. Okay, the same strategy like I explained in the previous two games. Basically we also have another different types of game as well, but in this chapter I just explained three types of games. Okay, so anything else you want to ask about this chapter? No.
No, no, it's okay.
Okay, so okay, I have explained everything. So your task, this is your last assignment. Okay, if you still remember, um, well, let me see. Okay, I have given you assignment one, assignment two,
Yes.
and I haven't given you the last assignment. Last assignment is very short, very easy. So remember, you have three assignments. Okay, here. So each assignment worth 5 marks, right? So in
Mm-hmm.
total, you will get 15. Okay, so I have given two assignments so far. So the last
Yeah.
assignment is here for the games theory. Okay. And I'm yet to give you your midterm. Okay. So maybe next week we will discuss about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so the last assignment is this one, discussion. I was thinking to just explain or give you the answer, but I think it's better to give you as an assignment because this is not that hard. Okay, so that you can just score a good marks for this assignment. So just read this discussion and the question, the answer. Well, the question is A, B, C, and D. You also have E. So your assignment worth 5, so you have 5 questions here. Okay? So
Okay.
try to do it. Well, you can definitely discuss with your mates, with your colleague. You have Halima, you can just discuss and find the answer. But make sure
Okay.
that when you discuss, you should understand the answer. Don't just simply get the answer without understanding them. Okay?
Okay.
Okay? So I think if you don't have anything, perhaps we can end our class with Suratul As and Tasbih Kifara.
Okay.
Okay, stay safe. Okay, see you
Yeah.
next week.
Salam.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum
Wa
salam.